success. Set expectation before the team begins to ensure that each member understand what is expected of them. Before you take off, before you get started, before you lift the first brick, before you start the car, everyone must know what is their role. So before the team begins, ensure that each member understand what is expected of them. Define a standard of conduct for the team. It's like this. The basketball team. Every member of the team has one of the uniforms. If you don't have a uniform, then more than likely you're not going to look like the team and you're not going to even be expected for the team. It just a couple of people know that you're a part of the team. But the conduct is everyone in their uniform. When you go to the fast food chain, everybody's in their uniform. So everyone must know what is expected of them, what their role is, and how do they fit into the expectations. The other thing that helps to nurture or to create a successful team is defining the roles, right? You could say, I want this building built. I want to build this nice building, right? But if you don't tell one group what their roles are, you'll probably have everyone standing up looking at the property trying to decide what needs to be done. But everyone has a role. So you define the roles. In other words, you tell them, this is what is expected of you. This is where you fit into the equation. You break it down. A strong team, whatever is contributed by the various ones, is absolutely necessary. It is something that it's a must-have in the whole thing. And so you got to do what you got to do. In high performance and effective team, each member know do this, that light ain't coming on. So as much as you do this, I also need make sure that there is bulb in the socket. C is there's obviously a switch by every door. Every entrance door to a room or somewhere, there's a switch near the door, right? Now, if you don't have access to the room, even though you have current coming in here, it ain't gonna come on. You could have the bulb in your hand, standing outside the door, but it's no benefit because you can't get in the room. So everybody's needed. If I open the door and no one checks to see whether or not the light is actually on, nothing is gonna happen. You could turn on the switch, screw the bulb in, and you could keep changing bulbs all day. You could say, okay, the light ain't coming on, maybe something wrong with the bulb. So you change that. And I actually had a situation similar to that when I first started fixing computers. I was so enthused about the new job and the new skill. Someone brought in a computer, and I put it on my desk, and I strip it right down. Took every component out of it. Do you know what was wrong with the computer? Someone was fiddling with it. And in the back of it, near the power supply, it had an on-off switch. And I never checked the on-off switch. And as a rule of thumb, if something doesn't come on that goes with electricity, the first thing you do is check, see whether or not the plug is in the wall. And then you follow your way up. From there, I strip it right down. Didn't find anything wrong with it, put it back together, still nothing wrong. And after a couple of days, I checked the power. Was just not getting any power. But then I would have learned, that was a teachable moment for me. So, effective team, each team member knows exactly what their role is and responsibility in achieving the overall game. In a house with a family, If one person responsibility is to pay the light bill, then they got to make sure the light is on. Another one is to pay the cable. They got to make sure that the cable is on. The other one, the telephone. Mommy and daddy, the mortgage. Whatever, however you all have it going. I'm not telling you that's how it should be. I'm just saying, what you could find going on. We're talking about building effective teams. We're talking about building effective teams. Everyone must know their role. You cannot not tell, and I mean this really for real in this day and time. If you don't tell your kids, I need you to help me with one of them bills, they go automatically assume you can handle it. If you say to them, okay, your role is you keep the light on. Your role is you keep the cable on. Off. Role. You have to do your role first. When your role is completed, then you could try to figure out what else. You can't expect the TV to come on if you're in charge of paying the light bill and you didn't pay it. The TV is not going to come on. And ain't nothing wrong. The TV ain't spoiled. The TV don't have a problem. You just ain't paid the light bill. So, in order for the team, in order for the family to look good, in order for the organization to look good, in order for the company, the business, the church, whatever to look good, everybody has to play their role. The 5 fingers really can adequately define this thing for you. Now, all of these are called fingers, but all of these have a different role. And you will not appreciate the role, the specific role. Most of us are injured. You'll see how difficult it becomes to do certain things. Can't do it no more. I was watching someone sing on Facebook, and their teeth fell out. And before their teeth fell out, they really sounded really good. And then the way they sound changed after the teeth fell out. Now, I like the fact that they didn't allow their teeth falling out to stop them from singing. But they really sounded quite different. And so, understanding the roles, assigning the roles to people can help smoothly get you on to success. In a strong team, individual members benefit each other by providing added support and opportunity for each other development. Okay. I want to try to explain that. When last you did something to make someone else look good? That's what teamwork is all about. Teamwork is not to make you look good. Teamwork is to make someone else look good. And so, when you do what you're supposed to do, when you adequately address what your assignment is, it makes the other person become a genius. Okay. In a relay, the person who takes off or the block number 1, block number 2, block number 3, it's only the person in block first one cross the line. I figure all I got to do is wash these off now, season these up, and boom, start cooking my fish. When I took them out the bag and checked them out, they was kind of clean, but they wasn't really clean. So I had to go over and clean it. So it slowed me down. When you do what you're supposed to do, you don't slow down the team. In fact, when you give it to if they had given me the fish right and ready, the food would have been finished a little earlier. But now I have to go do all those other stuff. So, you must have this in mind. When I do my role correctly, it makes the job easier on the other person that I'm handing it off to. If every time you done tighten a bolt, I have to go behind you and tighten it. Every time you done write a letter, I gotta go read it over and go correct it. You're hindering the team. But strong team, individual members benefit from each other by providing support and opportunities for others to develop. When I'm finished, I'm right there. And what you don't understand, I can explain it to you. I don't just, okay, I done my piece, I go on home and leave you to finish yours. Teamwork, very important. Defining roles and responsibilities, teams function most efficiently when members share common understanding of each other's roles and responsibility. Sometimes I go to the women's meeting because I want to understand what it is that they're doing. Not that I'm trying to be a woman, I just want to understand what's going on. The reason I learned how to cook, or the way that I learned how to cook, was I used to stand around my cousin and watch her cook. Until she finally said to me, she gave me a little, those of you from the Bahamas, y'all know what I'm talking about. Those folks from the foreign land may not understand this. But anyhow, let me say it. A tomato-based can. So she gave me a tomato-based can. And back in those days, they didn't have them. Back when I was growing up, they didn't have mini nothing. Everything was just big. So she gave me a little tomato-based can, and I had a little spoon and a little bit of rice. Whatever she was cooking, she gave me a little bit of, and whatever she was doing, I did. And then sooner or later, I've learned how to cook, and now I think I could cook. So,